Hi guys, it's Suri, so welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about my auto-buy authors. Now, I don't really have that many authors where I literally own everything they've ever written, so it's not that kind of an auto-buy author. I feel like I have like two categories actually. One is where I've read and own like most of their books, and the other is where I've like read only a few but they already are what I would consider auto-buy authors, meaning that as soon as they would come out with a new book I would be extremely interested in reading it or like instantly buy it. So that's what this video is gonna be. I hope you enjoyed, so let's get started. So my very first auto-buy author is obviously Alison Goodman. I recently just reread the first two books in the Lady Helen series and then finally read The Dark Days Deceit, which was the final one. It came out in November. I really enjoyed that series. It's so well written, and even before that I loved her Ian and Iona duology. So if you like the Lady Helen series and you haven't read Ian and Iona, or the other way around, I really recommend like reading the rest of her stuff because I think it's all very like in the same vein, and I think if you enjoy like one book by her, you might enjoy the rest as well. So she writes mainly YA fantasies, which for me is always a little bit of a touchy genre in a sense that's very hit or miss for me. So it really depends on the author if I enjoy it, and Alison Goodman is a really good YA fantasy author in my opinion, and if you're into that genre, check her out. Literally the same goes for Danielle L. Jensen. She's the author of the Stolen Songbird trilogy, and I adored that series. It's also YA fantasy, so again, one of the few authors that I really trust to do that genre well, and like to the point where I enjoy it. It's not too tropey, but it's still like fun and cute and exciting, and I just really enjoy her books. She came out with an audiobook only book this year, but I'm gonna wait until it comes out in physical form, which I think is sometime in 2019, and she's also publishing and just new book in general in 2019, so I'm really excited about those, and yeah, I'm definitely gonna snag them immediately. And last in the YA fantasy category, I have Laini Taylor. I have read her Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy back in the day and really loved that one. Oh my god, it was one of my favorite trilogies for the longest time. And then I also read her short story collection Lips Touched 3 Times, which I also really liked, and the artwork in that one is amazing. And then obviously last year she came out with Strange the Dreamer, which I loved. The sequel Muse of Nightmares I haven't gotten to yet, but literally only because I have no money to buy it, so I would have bought it. I just can't right now, so there's that. But in general, she's definitely an auto-buy author for me. I love her writing style. I know for some people it's a little too flowery, and I get that. I love it though. It's just right on point for me, and I can't wait to finally read Muse of Nightmares because, I don't know, I feel like I haven't really heard as much about it as I heard about Strange the Dreamer on BookTube. I don't know if even many people have read it. I feel like almost no one has. I literally haven't heard it mentioned, I think, once, so that's a little weird, but I definitely want to get it, and we'll see what happens. The next one is very different, and it's Gillian Flynn. I have literally bought and loved every single book, one of her books so far. I think she's written 4, Dark Places, Gone Girl, Sharp Objects, and The Grown Up, and I enjoyed all of them. The Grown Up the least because it's too short in my opinion, but that's what you get with a novella, I guess. But she's definitely one of those authors where I just trust her to do the thriller and mystery genre well and kind of add a kind of gruesome and dark touch without being gratuitous about it. So I really enjoy her books, and if you for some reason haven't read them, definitely do. Similarly, but also very different for me, is Liane Moriarty. She has written a ton of books, and I think I own all of them except her newest one because I still haven't read the entire back catalog that I own, so I want to do that first before getting that one. The first book I read by her was obviously Big Little Lies, which I think is how most people discovered her because that was like her biggest book, but after that I read like 2 or 3 more, and I really enjoyed all of them. They all have a very distinct writing style, and it is kind of, for her at least, a little bit formulaic. Not overtly so, and not like genre-wide formulaic, but like just, there's just a very distinct touch that she puts in a book, and I feel like if you read a lot of it at the same time in particular, then you might be a little like, this again. I don't think that notion is too strong, and I still think that all her books are individual enough or like separate enough to not just be like the same book but with different characters at all. So I really love that. I love that she adds like a little bit of mystery to like domestic, almost like chick lit stories, but they're always more than just what's on the surface, and I really appreciate that. And so I really love her books, and I'll probably buy whatever she puts out for the rest of time. I also really enjoy Gail Carriger's books. She writes kind of like paranormal romance books for adults. I don't actually know if they're YA or adult. It's kind of weird to like distinguish in that sense. It's probably more adult, but it's not like smut. It's just fun. She wrote the Parasol Protectorate Quintet, which I read like several years ago and adored. I feel like I was like extremely obsessed with those books for a long period of time, and I just like devoured them because I got them in like a box set and I was so excited about it. And then she came out with a sequel series that follows the daughter of the main character from the first book. And with that one, I still haven't read the last one, but other than that, I've read and enjoyed like this entire series. I haven't read anything from her outside that series. I know she's also written a distinctly YA series called like Etiquette and Espionage. So I don't know what that's like because I only read the Parasol Protectorate series, so I can't like comment on it, but I really enjoyed that series, and I feel like as long as she writes in that world, I will buy her books that are set in that world because I just really care about it. I'm really invested, and I just think her writing style is so amazing. It's so witty, and there's like specifically like British humor in it, and I just love it. Like, I don't know about you, but I love it. And then finally, I want to talk about some authors that I haven't read a lot by, but I will be in the future. I will read as much as they come out with, pretty much. And the first one is Scott Lynch. He is the creator of The Lies of Locke Lamora, and there's only 3 books so far published in that series, but it's going to be about 7, and the 4th one is hopefully finally gonna come out next year. So I'm excited, I'm invested, but also I'm like anxious to read more. I don't know if he's even actually written books outside that series. I assume he has, because a lot of fantasy authors are really like prolific and kind of mass-produce almost fantasy novels, so I don't know. We'll see. I should probably check that out, but I really love the Lies of Locke Lamora series, and I love his writing style, and he must be a really smart person to come up with all the stuff that he puts in his books. So I really admire him as an author, and I'm sure like anytime I see his name on something, I'd be like, I need it, okay? Next is Catherine Ann Valenti. I only ever read Deathless by her, which I don't even know when it came out. I feel like 8 years ago. But I really love that book, and I instantly fell in love with her as an author, and since then she has just stuck in my mind. I tried reading a middle grade book by her called The Girl Who Circumnavigated Fairyland in a Ship of Her Own Making, but because it's middle grade, I couldn't get through it. And I do own another book by her, so I should probably read that. But she's just sort of an author that has kind of stuck with me because of her writing style and just how her book made me feel. So I'm pretty sure I will read more by her and like buy what she has written, like her back catalog as well, if there is any. It's just been more a case of like circumstance that hasn't let me get around to it, but I definitely plan on reading more by her. And finally, I definitely also consider Stuart Chardon a new auto-buy author. He's only ever written 1 book, but it was so good. It's The 7 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. It came out early this year, and spoiler alert, it's probably my favorite book of 2018, and I was so in love with it. I was so excited about it, and he just tweeted recently that he's taking a break from Twitter because he's writing a new book, and oh my god, I cannot wait. I really cannot wait. He is such a fantastic author, and I just loved his book, and I'm 100% gonna buy anything he ever writes. And that is it for this video on my auto-buy authors. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm usually not the kind of person who fixates on a certain author and then like instantly buys all their stuff, because I tend to be a mood reader and I'm not always in the mood to read that specific kind of book, and I like to like be a little varied, but I definitely have some sort of authors that kind of stand out, and when I see their name on a book, I am instantly excited about it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments down below what your author by authors are, and if you've read books by the ones I mentioned in this video. I'm pretty sure, because most of them are fairly popular. Also, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for new videos every Tuesday and Friday, and I will see you very soon with another one. Until then, have a very lovely week. Bye!